Hello boys and girls, welcome to Mrs. Bandu's Math Movies. This is Course 2, Lesson 5-3, Proportions. Our objectives are to test whether ratios can form a proportion by using equivalent ratios and cross products. Alright, so our key concept, first of all, the definition of a proportion is an equation stating that two ratios are equal. Okay, so we have a couple of examples here. 1/2 equals 2/4. We all know that just from what we know about fractions and ratios. Similarly, A over B is equal to C over D. Would be a statement, or this would be a proportion, as long as B and D are not 0, because remember, by definition of a ratio, it's one number compared to the other by division, cannot divide by 0. It's undefined. Okay. One of the methods that we're going to use in testing whether or not ratios form a proportion or cross products, and we'll use the cross products property. Cross products are the two products found by multiplying the denominator of each ratio by the numerator of the other ratio. Okay, that word there is ratio. That kind of ran off the line there. So, okay. All right. If two ratios form a proportion, the cross products are equal. Conversely, if two ratios have equal cross products, they form a proportion. So, for example, we can see that 6 times 12, which in fact is 72, should equal 8 times 9. 8 times 9 is 72. Because the cross products are equal, I can say that the ratios are equivalent. Because the ratios are equivalent, their cross products are going to be equal as well. Just a little note, it's generally accepted that when we do cross products, we write that product on the side for which we use the numerator. So here I use the 6 times 12, so this answer goes with the 6. 9 times 8, 8 was the denominator, 9 is the numerator, that product goes there. It's just standard practice from everything I've ever done. I just think it's a good idea to do that. It does come in handy when you're trying to compare things down the line, greater than, less than, so forth. So that's why it's a good habit to get into. All right, and this just showed you algebraically A times D should equal B times C, where B and D, again, are not 0. Okay. It's just showing you with variables rather than with numbers. Okay. We are also going to look at another way of doing this. We can write ratios in simplest form as well to determine whether or not they form a proportion. By doing that, usually when ratios are in simplest form, we can look at them and probably know whether or not they're going to be, we will know whether or not they're equivalent. Okay, so divide the numerator, do the ratios 42 to 56 and 56 to 64 form a proportion. So what we want to do here is we're going to write the ratios in simplest form by dividing the numerator and denominators by the greatest common factors. So 42 and 56 share the greatest common factor of 14. So 42 divided by 14 is 3. 56 divided by 14 is 4. The greatest common factor for 56 and 64 is 8. 56 divided by 8 is 7, and 64 divided by 8 is 8. Okay, 3/4 and 7/8 are both in simplest form, they are not equivalent. So they do not form a proportion. Okay, so because they are not equivalent, they do not form a proportion. If they happen to be equivalent, then we would say that they form a proportion. So that is one way of testing that. Okay, at the bottom of this page is a quick check. Please do it by doing the simplest form so that you can practice doing that method. Okay, we'll go on to the next one. Using cross products. Do the ratios in each pair form a proportion? And we're given two examples, 4 to 10 and 6 to 15. Let's deal with that one first. So what we'll do is try our cross products out here. So we'll do 4 times 15 and 10 times 6. The question mark here means is what I'm trying to find out is, are they equivalent? Okay, so 4 times 15 is 60, and it equals 60. Okay, so, or therefore, so is shorter, so I'm going to write so. So 4 to 10 and 6 to 15 form a proportion. Our second set is 8 to 6 and 9 to 7. So again, I'm going to test cross products, 8 times 7, and I want to know if that's the same as 6 times 9. Okay, 8 times 7 is 56, and that is not equal to 54. So at this point, I'm going to put in the not equal sign. So 8 to 6 and 9 to 7 do not form a proportion. Okay, again, this is fairly straightforward, and basically what you see is what you get. So what I'd like you to do here is complete these quick checks and number 1 as well. Bring these into class with any questions you have, and